guys, it's Scott here and welcome to my first FIFA 22 official video. Hopefully you do enjoy this one as it is finally here. We've made it through the whole year of FIFA 21. Thank the Lord we've made it. But now, FIFA 22 is upon us, so if you are hyped for a year full of sick content, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're starting things off today with something that has been highly requested, the return of I Rate Your Teams, and we're going to be doing it on your starter squads for FIFA 22. So make sure you hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed this one. Go and follow me on Twitter if you want to be a part of these in the future. Follow us on Twitch as well. And without further ado, let's get into it. First reply this time around was from Kelvar with a team that is supposedly 80 to 130,000 coins. Now, first things first, it looks like you've sent this after blurring it in Photoshop, but we'll give you a pass. You got some decent players in here that are... They may look like they're going to be super expensive, but they probably won't be this year, such as Manolas and Akanji, etc. I kind of agree with your price range. I don't think it's outrageous. Ilicic with the 5-star skills this year, maybe going to be an absolute baller. And you say Gerson's moves to DM. So I like the team. It's a little bit different to a lot of the other ones that we've seen so far. I feel like this is going to be more of a first weekend league team rather than a full-on starter team. Next up, we've got Callum, who has sent us in this team. Now, obviously, this is the greatest team that we'll probably see all day because it does have the main man, Patson Daka, up front. But the rest of it is not that bad. We've got Jota, Greenwood, Van der Beek, Fred and Saul, Grimaldo, and basically what is one of the most popular and potentially overused backlines in all of the starter squads that I've seen all over Twitter through your mentions to me as well as others as well. This Liga NOS is everywhere. But you got a decent balance in your team there. I don't think that it's outrageously expensive. I think this is a decent squad to start with. Next up, we've got Bailey with this team, and I feel like this is another one that we're going to see a lot of. The pace abuse is absolutely filthy. You should be ashamed of yourself. Next up is Tassu's squad, and you know what? I praise you for this reason and this reason alone. Originality. You love to see it. So we've got a silver team here that is basically pace. And I know that maybe pace isn't original, but at least you're not using the full-on standard meta players that are in everybody else's squads. The one thing that would worry me about starting with silvers rather than maybe non-rare golds that have ridiculous pace and stuff like that is they're not going to be packed as much, and so they may have a little bit of expense, especially if people figure them out to be the best silvers available. And that's not me trying to be a jerk. Just watch yourself when it comes to prices. I hate myself. Next, we have Nathan's team. And I feel like for someone going down the Premier League route, this is a good balance. Because whilst you've got some decent players in here, and whilst a lot of them are very pacey, which is what people focus on at the very beginning, you've not gone for the god tier players. And even by that, I mean the starter players like a Ben Godfrey. 83 pace centre-back in the Premier League is going to cost a lot. So for you to go with Conser, Stones, etc., you're basically going to the lesser tier than a lot of people feel they're going to reach at the very beginning, and I think that's good and realistic. Although you're using Onyeka, and so I automatically have to hate you. Next is Jack G's team, and he says, maybe Depay will be too expensive. I agree. I do like that you're going down this sort of Dutch route and you're going for a very, very different team to those of which we've seen before. Basically, none of these players other than Marlon are going to be in many people's teams. I do think Depay will be too much. You may get very lucky and be able to afford him. But other than that, it's a really nice squad and it's actually very well balanced. I feel like Dumfries may not quite be the level that you're looking for in terms of right backs when everyone's going to be just abusing pace. However, it's a nice team. You've got a nice amount of players in here that are easily upgradable. Good job. Charles MCFC is up next, and Jesus is his striker. But also, that is a lot of Man City that he's got there. So we've got some decent players in here, some that may be a little bit too expensive for the very beginning, although he does want to build up towards a first weekend league team, so it does sort of make sense at the same time. Your back four should be relatively affordable. Romero's probably going to be the most expensive one there. Keeper's fine. Midfield, Foden might have a little bit of value attached to him. I feel like you can do better than Jack Grealish, though, because he just doesn't have the stats that suit a left winger in this game. After a couple of informs, yeah, sure. But to start things off, I feel like there are many players that are lower rated that will probably fit the beginning of the game before we truly know the meta better. Charles is playing a 4-4-2. Let's see what we are running with there. Matheus Cunha, I like it. And here we go again with the Liga NOS back line. Other than this left-hand side where you've got strong links over there. I do rate that. That's something a little bit different. It's good. We got Gerson, Delors, Paqueta, and Matheus Cunha. So, not a bad team, to be honest with you. Again, I feel like this back line, you're going to see so much of it, or slight variations of it, that it's not surprising to see. But Matheus Cunha should be a very good starter. And Rafa, you're not actually seeing a lot of people use the further forward players in Liga NOS. So he could actually end up being really good for you. Very nice starter squad. I rate it. Simpsons comes in with an enthusiastic goal from 70k or 80k FIFA points plus the Ultimate Edition points. So this is what he's going to try and run with after that amount of FIFA points. And my question to you guys is, do you think that that amount of FIFA points will be enough to get a squad like this to start off the year? You've got some players in here that are going to be very expensive, like Varane, like Goretzka, like Haaland. James is up next with his team, and we have got a full Hibernian team. I mean, you have to rate it, especially the fact that you've got a bronze in McGuinness. Charlie's team is up next, and this is what we're running here. We've got Medina, Atal, Teze, Van Arnhol. Okay, a little bit of a difference in here compared to the other squads that we've seen. This is actually a very good starter team rather than a first FUT Champs team. This is sick. I like it a lot. Lucas up next, and this is what he's running. Not too dissimilar, although in this one you have got Region, you've got Godfrey. It's a risk. Godfrey could end up being very expensive. You've got to know that going into this. You could get someone else that's strong links to both Pickford and Sanchez if you really wanted to, and maybe that would make it a little bit cheaper overall. The rest of it, I like. Samuel is coming in now with, is it a full French team? No, you are moving Texera down to CDM to get a strong link to Vida. Tadebo's a solid choice. Big Steve in goal. You'd love to see it. Klaus, that is Klaus, to be fair. Ikone, Claude Maurice. Honestly, one of the most expensive parts of your team will be moving Texera down to make everything else work. Ben Yedder is optimistic. So is Renato Sanchez. And St. Just, Sommer. I feel like this is the kind of team that, yeah, you're going to have to grind a little bit towards in order to actually be able to obtain these players, because some of them are going to be a lot more expensive than some of these starter squads that we've actually been seeing today. Next is Mourinho, and what we've got here is a little similar to a couple of the previous teams that we've seen here. Bertang, Chempong, David Neres, Gravenberch, Timber, a lot of people are looking at, and then in game, this is what we're going to be seeing, 4-2-3-1. I feel like, again, you have understood the assignment today. Gold star to you. Again, we're seeing the Ajax links here and the Eredivisie creeping in. Manyan and Tamori may have a bit of a cost there, I'm not going to lie to you. Same with Marlon. However, the rest of it, I do really like it. The fact that it's a decent little hybrid with multiple leagues in here. It's a solid squad. Twee with a 4-1-2-1-2 in-game. Porto at centre mid, with Marino over there, Kappa, Niakate, Roussillon. Just watch out with Roussillon's price because of the hyperlink to Mr. Lacroix is going to make him much more expensive. But other than that, it looks like a affordable team. Even though you've got a couple of like 82, 83 rated, this should be a decent squad to start off with. Cold is the next squad up, and this is how it's going to play in-game. Thiago Mendes, Gvardiol is a common player that I'm seeing over Twitter this year. Lucas Paqueta and Makis Rodrigo up front. It's not a bad team. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think that you've got players in here that are going to be that costly. Makis is probably the guy to watch out for in this squad. Other than that, you've got some nice players that, again, are just at that good level of rating and stats where they're usable, but not going to be 50k each. So I think you've done quite well here, and I feel like this is a very nice starter squad. I'd I'd be down to play with this team. Robbo says that this is how his team's going to play in game because he only found 21 film when he used 5-3-2. The Ligue NOS backline, it is a common one so far. Porto at wing back is very interesting. Morales and Inaki Williams up front. I tell you what, this is one of the most unique teams we've seen today. And I would love to hear how this kind of formation and team plays when the game comes out. Enlighten me. Haytham is the next team up, and we have got some more of the players that we've seen previously. So Timber in a lot of squads so far. St. Just potentially going to be outrageously expensive. Depends on if pace is the one and only meta this year. The rest of your team is not that bad. Again, Marlon may have a little bit of a cost attached to him. You've got Bergwijn and Promes on the bench as well. These guys shouldn't be too much. You will comfortably have this team in a few days if you are playing the game and grinding the web app as well. Bella season, looking to have this within the first 2 weeks. In 2 weeks? You could have this within a couple of days, to be honest with you. You've not got outrageous players, so yeah. Raise your expectations for how many coins you're going to earn. Play the game, grind the web app, you'll do this easy. Now we've got Jack. This is maybe what I might do. 4-3-1-2 in game. Rice, Bellingham, and Kunku, Antonio, Vlasic, Fofana. Okay, again, I feel like you've chosen a decent level of player here. Antonio, Marlon. Again, I've said it in every single one. I don't know whether he's going to be expensive or not, but he would be my worry. The rest of this should be decently priced because you've not got outrageous stats, but you've got very usable players. Next up, Neomul. How much do I think this would be? Honestly, not that much. Again, you've gone for the standard Ligue NOS, which we're seeing all over the place, but you've actually gone for it in your entire team. I feel like you're going to get a lot better value for money in the forwards rather than the defenders that a lot of people are looking at. The players will drop quickly because they're not high rated. So many people are going to be opening packs and so many people are going to be looking to move away from Ligue NOS early doors. Oh, it will not be expensive at all. Nighttime Devils up now. We've got Renato Sanchez as our first potentially really expensive player in this team. Bamba may have a little bit of value attached to him as well. How are the rest of these players looking? Pretty good. Again, standard scenes that we're seeing everywhere now. We're getting Ajax triangles. We are getting Liga NOS triangles and stuff like that as well. But I don't think that you've gone outrageous other than Renato. I feel like he's going to be very expensive, especially he's double 4-star this year. So maybe have some kind of alternative where you don't use Renato to start things off and you go with someone else just as a contingency plan. Peng Hanyu might be trying a 3-backing game with Van Aanholt as a centre-back. No, you can't do that this year. We found the first one, ladies and gentlemen. Fullbacks at centre-backs are not going to work this year. They're not going to perform anywhere near as well. Do not even have the idea enter your head of making that happen this year. This is solid, right? You've not gone too over the top. This is fine, but do not think about changing to 3 at the back if you're using another fullback there. It will not work this year. The penultimate squad is by Oliver, saying hopefully something like this for the first weekend league. Vinny, Griezmann, Chiesa, Fekir, Valverde, Lacroix, and Barbu. I feel like this is achievable. There are players in here that are obviously going to be expensive, like these two, like Chiesa, Vinny, Valverde. They're going to have cost associated with them. But I think a lot of people underestimate just how many coins you can potentially generate between the start date and the first weekend league, where you've got a couple of weeks. So if you are grinding the game, squad battles, rivals, objectives, and the web app, I like your optimism. I rate it. And then the final one comes in from the citizens saying 20k max for this team. Romarinho, Talisca, Diaz, Gedson, Fernandes, Paulinho, Rafa, and then the rest is Liga NOS. Again, I don't think that this team is going to cost as much as some people do, because I think that people are slightly overestimating the cost of the back line. We'll have to wait and see, but that is the final team. I like it. I like all of you Thank you very, very much, every single one of you that sent in a team today. It means the absolute world to me that we are getting as much interaction as we are at the start of this FIFA. So if you want to be a part of these in the future, make sure you follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, hit the thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.